Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Last time we glued this blaster together and put it in this clamp. Remember how we glued these two pieces together and we put a metal bar inside? Well, today we can take it out of the clamp and we can pull off the tape and see what we got here. So let's do that. Get that gaffer tape off. Alright, here we go. Take that out of the clamp. Yeah. It's everything I could have hoped for. Let's see if it looks pretty straight. So today we're going to talk about this blaster that we just made. And what this is it's the model of the DC-15A from Galactic Armory. And we're going to review the full-size piece that I made. On this one, what I did is I took the original model and cut it into smaller pieces that I thought would fit together nice to create a kind of like a really short version of the DC-15 with less scopes on it. And I think this came out pretty nice. Yeah, it came out really straight. So when you download the files from Galactic Armory for the DC-15, what you get is all the little bits and pieces, and you can print those separately. And that's helpful because most of those would fit on a small printer. The only thing you'll want to think about is how you size the model. See, I printed it at full size, and something I've noticed is that the handle and the trigger area is really huge. And it's basically this handle type, this style of handle, and this kind of trigger is the kind that are put on armored vehicles. But normally, if it's a crew weapon where guys are going to be running around with it, this handle is much more smaller and like an assault rifle handle. This style of hand grip is what you get when you mount an M60 to an armored vehicle. And then all of a sudden you're going to have this gun on the outside of a vehicle banging around and potentially getting shot at. So they'll make the handle, it's attached to a mount, a swivel mount. So the handle doesn't have to be so ergonomic, it just has to be really tough. And so it has this video cord that would go to, the electronics in the vehicle. So, you can't really 3D print this because it's going to be too rigid and easy to break. So I recreated the video cord just with a little bit of thick power cord that I just scratch built in there. I just drilled some holes and used a lot of epoxy. So you want to do that so that you get a little bit more realistic, feeling from that material. And that way it won't break too easy. But yeah, this thing is enormous. If you're gonna build this as a prop gun, just consider the fact that it's absolutely enormous. I would say this thing has a lot of riz. So even if it's so big that you really can't even hold it, barely, or if you just kind of barely carry it around, it's still really cool. It's almost like a whole character. I mean, it's about as tall as a person. So when a stormtrooper has this, it's almost like two stormtroopers, I've been really happy with the files I get from Galactic Armory. They code well, they print well. I like how they offer different versions of the files. Like with the DC-15, they have a file for every single little part. But they also have a file that's the gun completely put together. So you can take different approaches to how you want to build stuff. And this is something that's sort of from the industry with trying to get a good shot, trying to have stunt people perform, stunts holding prop guns. You don't want the prop gun to be dangerous. So I put metal rods in this to make it stronger. But if I thought there was going to be a stuntman who was going to have to jump and land with this, I probably wouldn't put metal rods in it because those might, in an accident, those could break out and they could injure the stuntman. So when you're working with a prop master and you have actors and there's a director and you're gonna do some shots with the prop gun, and let's say it's a Star Wars blaster, so we're not even talking about like a cowboy gun or something. This is total science fiction. It's basically a kid's toy. It's completely made out of plastic. One of the side effects of that is that it's really light. See, I can kind of shake it around. And let's say I had to run across the screen on camera. Well, what if I just, run, Like a lot of actors might just kind of, I'm running, right? Well, you can't run with a real gun like that. It's too heavy. You can't swing it around all over the place. So you need to just check in with your actors and your stuntman and make sure that they understand the concept of pretending like the gun is heavy, of constantly shifting the weight of it, sort of don't move it too fast because that'll make it look light. Move it really slow and make it appear heavy with how you handle it. Make it appear like it's a burden. Like every time you have to move it, almost like you can't even hold it with just one hand. Like I can hold it with two hands like this. Then if I let go, it'll just fall. That makes it look heavier, right? Reality is, it's not that heavy. But I can make it seem heavy. Also, kind of if you swing it up, like, And then if you have to run with a prop blaster that's really light, continue to hold it with two hands, and try to move like it's heavy. And try to move like it's also dangerous. Like you understand that you are holding something that's extremely lethal.